Okay, ready?
Do it.
I Can Relate, a podcast for teens, about teens, and by teens, is presented by Lee Summit Cares. Lee Summit Cares mobilizes community partners to develop a culture of physical and mental wellness for Lee Summit youth and families that inspires positive, healthy choices. Lee Summit Cares is currently seeking youth in grades 8 through 12 who are passionate about advocating for a healthy lifestyle among their peers. For more information or to apply, visit lscares.org.
Hello, welcome to I Can Relate, a podcast about teens talking about things that we can relate to. My name is Hudson, and I'm here with Chidera, Rylee, and Devynn. And wow, we are living in crazy times in the world right now. Everyone's kind of on lockdown with COVID-19 coronavirus. And I just wanted to start us off with how are you guys taking care of yourselves during this time of lockdown? What are you doing?
Well, for me, this is Chidera, by the way, but for me, I've definitely been sleeping a lot, or getting a good amount of sleep for sure. Not sleeping a lot, but getting a good amount of sleep. And I've just really been reading a lot too, and just enjoying my quiet time alone.
It's Devin. Hey guys. I've really been exercising a lot, which is really good. I really enjoy that. This year I haven't been doing it. I used to do that really often, and then now, with junior year just being so hectic and busy, I haven't really been able to do it as often as I like. So I've been doing that a lot. And I love movies, so I've been watching a lot of movies for sure.
Rylee here. I'm back. So hi. I guess. Do you want to hear my healthy coping mechanisms?
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
Not
Just
a lot
anything
of...
that you do.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of a bad person. I've been eating way too much food. And I mean, I've been trying to learn new instruments that I've had sitting in my bedroom for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
I
I've
think
also
now
been painting a lot. Sorry,
yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, I think it's very important to go outside and exercise and make sure you're eating the right things. I mean, this is a great time to lay back and have some leisure time to yourself.
For
But
sure.
also it's kind of important to keep track of yourself and make sure you're doing what you need to do.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I come from a family of 7, and right now my oldest sister, she lives in North Carolina now, so it's only 6. All of us, I have 3 older sisters, and 2 of them are back from college, so we're all in the house again. It went from 4 of us with me and my brother, now us in one house. And honestly, for some families it can get really hectic, but I think since we all kind of get well, and we still have our time to be on our own and do our own thing, it's not bad as what I would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, and now, how do you guys take care of yourself when you leave the house? Are you guys wearing masks? I sometimes see people wearing masks or washing hands regularly.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna be real with you, Hudson. I have not left my house, and when I do,
That's
I went to my
fine.
aunt's house for a little bit, but who lives down the street, so it's literally I've not been out.
Yeah, I left the house once and I went on a walk with my family, but that's it. And that was a week or 2 ago, so I haven't been out at all. But I'm planning on it today because it's nice out.
Ooh.
So.
I've actually left the house. I think I got out Tuesday, and we've been driving my car a lot because I'm still learning to get my license. I turned 16 a few weeks ago, so getting almost there. But I drove to a McDonald's, and my dad is not a germaphobe, but he's very anti-germs. And I don't know, he's very intense. That's the word.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to wear to go to McDonald's. He gave me glasses so no one could cough in my eye. Gloves on my hands and a mask.
That's crazy.
Nice. Okay, what do you guys think is necessary when you're going out to like a store or a restaurant?
I guess it depends on where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
For me,
go on, Dara. Sorry.
for me, if I were to leave the house right now, I'd probably be like completely covered, like head to toe. You know those memes of people like wearing trash bags and stuff, and like
Yeah.
that'd probably.
I love the ones. Have you seen that they're saying that Disneyland workers should have had their employees dressed up like the guys from Monsters Inc. and the whole
Oh,
hazmat?
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I mean, I think like having hand sanitizer for sure is like really important. I feel like having gloves and stuff, like my aunt went to the store the other day and she was talking to me about how she saw people like touching the shelves and stuff and then like going in their purses. So it really defeats the purpose of being safe and sanitary when you're honestly misusing the things that are there to keep you safe and clean. So I don't know, I just think be aware of what you're doing because you could have all this protection but then use it the wrong way and still be in the line of like being able to get sick and getting other people sick.
I think too, just germs latch on to like face mask and all that a lot more. I think I read somewhere that people are 33% more likely to touch their face with a mask to adjust it, and then the germs stay on your face for longer instead of just like going away after you wash your face or wash your hands. And then with the gloves, I don't understand the purpose of them because if you were to touch something, you're still passing the germs to what you've touched, and then you're just touching more stuff. So, I mean, I guess you're not directly touching it, but unless you regularly change gloves, I could see that being a little problematic.
I've seen people in those like in big inflatable dinosaur outfits.
Those are
I
awesome.
don't know why that's so great for me, but like it's just people are finding good ways to like be happy and keep themselves not bored, like walking around in a dinosaur outfit around town or something. All right, what do you guys do to prevent yourselves from getting bored?
I just really try to think of things that like this whole situation has kind of made me not only realize that like truly kind of like reiterate the idea that you don't know how much time you have, so like don't put off to do like anything. Like cherish like every moment you have. So that I was kind of thinking like, okay, what's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time that I haven't done that would make me really happy? And I love painting, so that's something I've been doing a lot. Like once again, exercising, just making sure I'm like actually eating breakfast, which is like such a problem I have. I don't ever eat breakfast, so I've been eating breakfast like every day since this happened. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
Honestly, for me, I never get bored for some reason, usually, except for like at school sometimes. I'm just like,
Yeah.
But like
I
at
felt that.
whatever, I don't know, I just never feel bored. So I'm always usually like, right now I'm like the book of Michelle Obama. I got that for Christmas and I haven't had time to read it, so I'm like finishing it. Really like it. I've been reading that for a while, this whole week. Besides that, honestly, I really love yoga and like meditating. For English, my teacher always like set aside like 10 minutes in class like once a week, and we would all just like sit there and meditate, and that's been really calming. So I've been doing that lately. And
Yeah, meditation is
honestly,
amazing.
yeah. And I've been making TikToks with my family, so that's always fun.
I guess I've been kind of getting bored, but I've been trying to find different things to do. Like I've been playing online games with my friends a lot on my Switch, and then I've been like trying to FaceTime people more because I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I get kind of uncomfortable looking at myself talking to somebody. So I just find that a little awkward. So I'm trying to grow as a person for face-to-face stuff. I've actually been calling people on the phones. I've probably started doing more art crafts and stuff and walking, of course. But
Yeah, I I personally get bored a lot. Even though there's a lot of things to do around here, I just have trouble doing things over and over again. I've been watching a lot of movies. That's usually a good go-to for me. Like I was watching Teen Beach Movie before I started this, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And it's good to keep yourself entertained because I guess it gives you morale to do stuff and gives you motivation to keep going, you know? But I do have a question. What do you have worries while you're sitting at home? Like, are things stressing you out?
Not at all.
I think school has been stressing me out just a bit, like being in IB classes. I know a lot of classes with like LSR7, they've kind of figured out ways to like have certain days for certain classes, and with like IB, my IB teachers were telling me like they're like we can't stop since this is a 2-year course, so that's a little bit difficult. But for me, I just really like having like a set schedule, and I've always loved school, so this is a really big shift for me, like going to school every day since I was in kindergarten, and then not going to school for like basically 2 months is like kind of insane to me. So school's been probably stressing me out a little bit, but talking to my teachers, which is what I really recommend, and like emailing them and just especially having a good relationship with them makes it a lot easier. So I'm not as stressed anymore.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, you can just say what you're gonna ask.
Oh, I was just asking. I saw somewhere or heard somewhere that the school district is saying if you're happy with their grades, that some classes they can't like lower your grade. It can only go up, so that a lot of kids aren't doing school anymore because their grades are like fine.
Yeah, I guess I actually got an email from my teacher today, and Mr. Turner, and he was basically talking about how, I guess like by March 13th, like whatever your grades were then, if you were happy with them, they can't go down afterwards. And I basically like saying that if you're done with school, like if you like the way your grades were, then you don't really have to do any work. And at the end of May, or basically when school ends or it's supposed to end, they're going to take whatever like final grades you want, basically.
Yeah, so like you can keep improving your grade and like doing the assignments, or you can choose to like not do it, because like they're taking the grade of what it was before spring break, since some kids aren't like used to the whole like virtual learning thing, and it's a big change for people. But back to the original question, just like for me, I feel like my schedule, since I basically get to like do like what I want, like basically just set up my whole schedule for myself throughout the day, it's been like a lot easier for me to just like literally do whatever I want and not have to like stress about like, oh, I have to wake up at a certain time to be at school to go do this, to do that, to whatever. Like it's just me like literally planning out my whole day and like doing that according. So I feel like that's been a really like that's made me less stressed, if anything.
I don't know, because I've been a homeschool student before this started, so my school schedule didn't really change a whole lot, but just having my family home all the time while doing school is a lot different because I have 2 younger brothers. One's in 5th grade, the other one's a middle school boy, so just keep that in mind. They can drive me a little crazy. I mean, I love them, but I think.
So are your brothers not homeschooled?
No, they go to Summit Lakes and Longview Farms Elementary, so I just didn't want to go to public school. But yeah, I guess the stress of me trying to get my work done around them a little bit, because they only have like 90 minutes of school, so that doesn't occupy them for very long. And just I'm very OCD, so I like a schedule, and I had a pretty good schedule laid out where I do school from here to here, and then like go do my after school activities, come home, eat dinner, that kind of thing. And now it's just kind of like I go to bed whenever I want, I wake up whenever I want, I get what I need to get done, and then I'm just bored. But
Yeah, I felt I can relate to a whole new level. School is like school is easy for me, and like before the whole thing happened and we're doing virtual learning, and now it's just even easier, and like Rylee, you said, just You wake up whenever you want, go to sleep. I'm going to sleep at 3 a.m. every day, and then waking up at noon. Even though that's probably not great, I'm getting a lot of sleep, and I feel alive. But then I do school, and it's just kind of stress free, and it feels good to me, honestly. But um, moving on, how do you guys keep your schedules like ready? Do you have plans? Do you wake up and have time set to do things? What are your schedules like?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really a big schedule person. Not really a person that just kind of likes to like, oh, I have this, and let's get it done. I like to like even like make lists. So I try to wake up at like 8 in the morning and eat breakfast and then start my homework by 9, and then try to just like go by class with each assignment that I need to do, which really helps me a lot. And then it doesn't take me super long to do my homework, so I like to give myself a little bit of free time to kind of do whatever I want. If that's like watching movies or like being on my computer for a little bit, and then towards the end of the day I like to like, paint and exercise and do all that stuff. So definitely like scheduling and like just making a list of everything I want to do really helps me like manage my time and what I need to get done.
Well, I'm a really big planner person. Like I've used a planner since like kindergarten or whatever. Since then, I've always like had my own. I bought mine. So I usually like lately though I haven't been writing in my planner because I don't know, since everything's online, I kind of just have like tabs open of what each class has. But it kind of varies from like the beginning of the week to the end of the week for me because my teachers release for most of my classes, they release like what we're going to do on Mondays, and then I have the whole week to finish that, and then on Tuesdays is when another class releases that. So usually I spend like the first like Monday, Tuesday finishing all of my homework for the week, and then I'll spend the rest of like my week just like doing whatever, like reading and like yoga, TikToks.
I guess I kind of have a schedule, but I kind of don't because I don't know. I'm really bad about managing amount of sleep. You with all this time, right? You'd have plenty of time to sleep, but I get a few hours of sleep in. I get up sometime between 8:30 or 9:30, get school done around 1 or 2, and then I try and do something online with my friends. I have youth groups online on Wednesday, which is super weird, but um so I guess I try and fill my afternoons up after I get my morning work done. But other than that, I really don't have a whole lot of a schedule.
Yeah. Um, for me, I wake up whenever my heart tells me to, and I stay in bed and do my homework. Then about halfway through, I take a break, maybe eat some lunch, get back into bed, do the rest of my homework, and then I got the rest of the day to do whatever, which is which is fine. But also, I find myself bored and watching like The Office for hours on end or something like that. But it all depends on you, whatever you find to be best. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
To move on, how does time management or keeping a schedule help you be successful?
Does it keep you successful?
Yeah, like does it is it working for you guys?
It's like really, really, really easy to be lazy nowadays, especially since we're home like 24/7. It's so easy to just like really not do anything and just like watch movies all day or just sit in bed. So I think by like creating a schedule or like setting up what you want your days to look like, it will actually motivate you and help you to get things done so that
Yeah,
you can be
absolutely.
successful.
For sure. I think it just helps like especially being if you're in like IB classes or super just like heavy classes with a lot of work, like I said before, like share plans or stuff out. I do the same thing. I have lists. Like I plan my entire week out. It just helps you. I think for me, it helps you relieve stress. And like I double check it like multiple times just to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything, which helps me a lot. Like focusing on my work instead of being stressed while I'm working.
Yeah.
I think I've always since I've been a homeschooled student, my schedule hasn't changed a whole lot, minus my sleep schedule, I guess. So it was like really hasn't been too bad for me to transition into doing this because it's just something I've done every day. But I think because I'm home all the time, I don't know how kids cannot do school because I have been bored out of my mind that school's like gives me something to actually do, which is it's very sad. I can't believe I gotten to this point, but um I think just having something set out to say I'm gonna be productive during this time to this time. It's kind of what I do, so I can be like, all right, I give up at 6:30 or whatever. Um, so I do think it just is beneficial to have an idea of at least if you're like maybe not a schedule if you're not a planning person, but just be like from here to here, I'm gonna try and get this done. That's what I've been trying to do. But yeah.
Yeah. I have a schedule, like, but it's not laid out in stone. It's just whenever. But I think it's very helpful. If I didn't have like a mental schedule, I would be doing homework the night of, or or like doing it or submitting it at 11:59 p.m. and it just being a wreck. But also it's important to have a schedule. Yeah. But also, um, it's also important to get outside, and getting outside is really important. I just switched those around. Never mind. It's important to get outside, but like, what do you guys do outside? How can you spend time outside and still be safe?
Honestly,
See,
you can go ahead.
I haven't, honestly, I'm gonna be real, I haven't really been outside very much, which is really like a problem, but I had this idea like yesterday. Like I said, I love to paint, and I'm just gonna take like my canvas outside and my paint and stuff outside and just like sit in my backyard. I have a pretty big backyard, and just paint outside. Like it's little things like that. If you exercise in your house, you can go outside and exercise. If you like to paint or draw or whatever, just like start doing stuff that you normally do maybe in your house that you can go take outside, just so you're not inside doing nothing all day, or feeling, because I have been feeling super kind of like cooped up a little bit, and I have this huge backyard that's just like not being used. So I definitely say go do that, and like get your siblings and families to come out with you so you guys aren't all just stuck in the house.
I agree. I actually did go outside one other time, and I took the yoga mat out to my backyard, but it was really windy, so I came inside. But I'm gonna start going outside. So
I've been actually outside a lot. I'm kind of a homebody, so I'm pushing myself to be out more, but being at home all the time is making that kind of easier because I want to get out. But I've been brought out some chalk that's been in our garage for probably at least a year. It kind of sucked because it rained that night, but still I did it, and I spent time outside. We have a basketball hoop, so we've been playing that outside. We've had a lot of bonfires and stuff. Just our family, though. We're not like having people over, so it's nice to just take some time. And then also, it's kind of nice because pollution is downish, I think, because everybody's staying home, so you can actually see the stars. So it's just nice to sit outside and look for a little bit until it gets old. But it's warming up, so it's fun to go look.
Yeah. I find myself, my dad and we went on a trail, and everyone's doing like the 6 feet rule, and some people had masks on, and whatever works for you and whatever you think it will make you be safe is good. It is important to wash your hands and sanitize yourself whenever you do go outside, or maybe something like that, but you don't have to take a shower or something. Except I shower every day, or most days. Okay, but still.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay,
how often do your parents or like anyone in your family, how often are they talking about like this whole thing? Is it like an everyday thing, like, or is it just like it is what it is, or like you guys are always talking about coronavirus?
Oh, it's every day here. It's just like it runs its way into every conversation, and it sometimes it gets kind of annoying because I just want to be. It is how it is, But it's also important to know the facts and stuff.
Right.
Keep yourself safe.
My family, like my mom's a doctor, and then I have a lot of relatives who are in the medical field. My sister, she's an RN in North Carolina. So she works in the ER, and she's actually working like like right with these corona patients, and it's really crazy just to hear her talk about it when she goes to work, because that is kind of scary. And my mom, since she's a doctor too, that's constantly like that's her reality every single day, because she does still continue to go to work. She is always like facing these different challenges and things, and she's coming back and talking about it at home like every single day. So it is pretty crazy.
Yeah, my family, we definitely like try to stay updated and have, conversations about it and what's going on. Me being like super optimistic, I'm a little afraid that this is going to affect summer, and also just like so many people being sick. It's super, being like a super happy person and hearing like all this negativity all the time lately. Not even negativity, just reality that may not be super happy. It's difficult. So I'm trying to like consistently be positive and look at the bright side, and there have been some positive things that have happened in the situation or that are still happening right now. So yeah, it's definitely an everyday topic for sure.
I mean, yes, it gets brought up every day, but my family's trying to find a happy medium, kind of, because we stop watching the news, but we still read what doctors and nurses are saying about it, so we still get straight facts for that, so we're not stressing ourselves out with the exaggerating, that's the word, right? Yeah, exaggeration that comes with the news and stuff, so we're just trying to keep ourselves calm in this because there is so much chaos. We're trying to keep it level-headed. And then, like I said, I have younger brothers, so my parents, I don't think they really get what's happening, because my brother will be like, why can't I go play with my neighbor friends down the street like we used to as much, because they still come over, but distancing and all that. And so we've been trying to inform them without scaring kids, because they can definitely see this being scary for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you were talking. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you think what is enough information and what is too much information, depending on what the person or who the person, or do you think everyone needs the same facts? Or, yeah.
I find that the more we talk about it, the more false information we get, or because like no one knows what's true out of all the media that's out there. Because I've seen stuff about martial law. I don't know what's happening. I don't really stay updated on it. I probably should be a little more like all knowing about it. But yes, eventually it does become too much when you've heard rumors of like, oh, corona is affecting tigers now or something like that. I don't know where that fact came from. It's not a fact, but if it was, I wouldn't believe it. I just feel like at some point it gets too much, and it's like, oh, that you can't tell what's real anymore. So
yeah, absolutely. I think just too much information for sure would also be, I've heard so much about like conspiracy theories and what people are believing and all this crazy stuff, and I just think indulging in this and like all this news consists also not only like affect your mental health, but definitely just stress you out. And I think just give yourself the information you need and obviously be educated, but don't just indulge in it 24/7, because that can definitely cause a lot of issues. It's already a scary time, so that I don't see the point you making like the situation worse.
Right. I definitely think it's important to first make sure that you're getting your information from a trusted source, so you know that the information that you are receiving is true, but also to not just be obsessing over like the issue. Like the pandemic is real, and it's something that we're all in like going through right now, but it's not something that you should be stressing over 24/7 about catching, and like what you're doing. I think it's really important to take the measures to stay safe and stay healthy, but not constantly be worrying about your health when you know that you're doing all the things that you can.
Absolutely.
I do think we just need when's the last time we haven't had a conversation with a friend or something and corona wasn't brought up at least once? Because I don't think I've had a conversation like that in at least a month or so where we've been talking and they haven't brought it up. So I just think it's important for even when you're exercising or painting or yoga or whatever you're doing, just to make sure you're giving yourself a break from that, because if you continually surround yourself with that, then you're just going to put yourself in a bad spot. And it's hard too when you're self isolated. You can't really go reach out to a person you could before this started and just try and cheer yourself up, because you can't like leave and stuff. You can go for car rides or walks, but it may not always be the same. So just giving yourself a mental health break from information is good too. I mean, what all you guys said was correct too. You need to stay informed and make sure you have trusted sources, but I think it's also good to take a little break from it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Something I do want to say though is I know a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm gonna, learn a new language and I'm gonna paint and exercise and reinvent myself. But I mean, I want everyone to understand that as well. Like, you don't have to, be a completely different person after this quarantine is over. You can, if you need to sleep and you need to lay down and you just want to be in your bed for a few days and watch TV, do that. If you want to learn a new language, do that. I think a lot of people in this time kind of think that they need to be completely different and reinvent themselves, but just take time. The first couple days of quarantine, I honestly slept because I didn't realize how tired I was and my body was from just like working, and me like realizing, from August to like March, I really did not have any downtime. I was consistently working, consistently doing something. So I think it's important to just like take time out of your day during this quarantine and like understand that it's okay to just chill out.
Yeah, definitely. I've been hearing people call it quarantine 15 because people are gaining 15 pounds from quarantine. I maybe wouldn't suggest gaining 15 pounds, but if you want to do that, go do that. I mean,
Yeah,
no one's going to stop you.
I found, kind of off topic, but still on the topic, going back to keeping ourselves, like knowing what we need to know about Corona and then taking a break. I find, like Chidera was talking about, doing yoga. That's good stuff. At first, I in gym, she required us to take a video of ourselves doing like a 30-minute yoga video, which I hated. But then I kind of got into it, and it's nice to just clear your mind and forget about it for a while, even though it's still around there. Okay.
Yeah. My best advice to anyone is just really practice like self-care right now and
for
work
sure.
on.
I think everything everybody said is pretty good. I just think what I'm going to take away from this is trying to apply what I'm learning and just taking care of myself after this is over, and trying not to push myself too hard when this is over. I think is pretty important to just remember self-care is important. It's not just something you read on a pamphlet when you go to the doctor. It's something you actually have to apply to your day-to-day life. And I think doing everything you said and just taking maybe like an hour a week once things pick up, or like a day a week, whatever you need to do for yourself, I think is very important.
Well, some things that I do to kind of like debrief or relax, then you guys can tell me what you guys do, but I really like, once again, just like watching movies. Being super busy this year, like I kind of realized that I haven't gotten to do a bunch of things that I wanted to do, and I love movies. I'm even in an advanced film class and still haven't been able to watch as much as I wanted to watch. So I've definitely just been watching a lot of new movies, even some TV shows. So that's something that I love to do, to just kind of like relax and debrief about, after school work and stuff.
Netflix and Disney Plus has been my saving grace during quarantine, because I have just been having way too much fun belting out "Do You Want to Build a Snowman" and getting myself sick of "Let It Go" already. But yeah, I am also a very avid comic book reader, so just taking some time to just jump into a comic book and forget about the world for 15-20 minutes has been super helpful. And I also listen to other podcasts, that kind of thing.
Right. Like I said before, I just like pretty much do yoga. I read. I just started a TV show though on Netflix called Ozark. It's kind of R-rated-ish, but it's interesting. It's taken place in Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, so that's cool. But yeah.
Netflix Disney Plus. They just added Onwards to Disney Plus.
Oh,
Oh, so good. I loved it. And I've been watching a show on Netflix called it's not the actual word, but it's like spelled differently. It's called Schitt's Creek,
oh yeah.
and it's like spelled Schitz Creek. I don't know how to spell it, but it's a really good show. If you want to go watch it, it's great. It's a knee slapper.
And then A Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but that's so good. It has Reese Witherspoon and Carrie Williams in it. You get really bored. That show's great. It's a little more mature, but it's good.
So I have one quick question before we wrap up. What has been you guys' biggest takeaway from this quarantine so far?
Take time for yourself. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do to stay productive in school, and then relax and just have entertainment, and don't get bored, or you'll get bored. Quote me on that if you need to.
My biggest takeaway is probably to just like slow down and like enjoy the process of life, honestly. Like we're gonna endure so many different things and so many different like paths and stuff. So now just like with this whole situation, just to like, it's allowing me to really slow down and just zen out.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever.
I think the most important thing I've kind of started to take away of this is the importance of my family, because I've been super bored and I have a family. I have another, but I think the point I've taken away from this is that we've been spending a lot of time watching movies together and playing board games that we really didn't do before this started. And I'm hoping that when I leave quarantine, I still make enough time to be with them, because they're my ride or dies forcefully. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I said this kind of at the beginning of the podcast, but seeing kind of a lot of the seniors like not be able to indulge in the things that I think a lot of people look forward to, it's made me realize to really like cherish everything, especially things that you take for granted. You know, I've always loved school, but I mean, Chidera can vouch for me. Like the past couple months have been like, I'm so ready for summer. I'm so ready for school to end. And it just really like, it's made me think to really enjoy the things that you take for granted. So like, I know next year when I'm a senior, I'm gonna want to be in school every single day and just like enjoy that, because you know that's not going to be there forever, and this kind of makes you think like you have no idea what could happen. So just really enjoy the little things and some things that you take for granted, for sure.
Yeah, that's a great way to wrap up the episode. This was I Can Relate. My name is Hudson.
My name is Devynn.
I'm Chidera.
And I'm Rylee.
And this is I Can Relate. You've been listening to I Can Relate, a podcast for teens about teens by teens. I Can Relate is produced by Fredcast Podcast Network and made possible by Lisa McCares. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.